All right. It's time. I think there should be a special place reserved in hell, in a way, for whoever came up with the idea to have both these stinkers of matches at the same time. But then again, it did get it over twice as quick. So there's that to be thought of. But I said it when we heard the concept, and this nothing here changed my mind. This is one of those things where some goofy Hollywood reality show dipshit in a writer's meeting. I've seen footage of their writer's meetings where they all have their little computers out in front of them and their phones, and they've got ties on sitting around a fucking conference table, just all writing on their fucking computers because they're writers, and they have ties. And they have never had a goddamn one match between a bunch of them, except for Michael Hayes, who they probably have given a lobotomy by now. I think he's the only wrestling person still there on the writing team, isn't he? He's either gone over to the other side, or you would have heard of Michael Hayes murdering some of these fucking people. But anyway, they said, "Oh, this will be fucking hilarious. What a concept. They have to fight from the start of the bottom of Titan Tower all the way to the top and get the blah, blah, blah." And this is the kind of shit that makes Vince's eyes light up, because they can fucking have a set and they can have special effects and a blah, blah, blah. So this fucking stinky bullshit consisted of Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, Carmella, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, who her entire face looks like it was remodeled after somebody set fire to it and put it out with an axe. What the fuck has happened? Did she do that on purpose, or was she in a horrible accident? What the fuck? And Asuka, or the women's match, and AJ and Otis and Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio Jr. and Daniel Bryan and the Grand Marshal of the Possum Day Parade are the men. So you literally have two of the best wrestlers in the world, three if you count Mysterio, but definitely Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, involved with a bunch of fucking underneath guys and a bunch of fucking preliminary women, except for Shayna Baszler, who, boy, I get her UFC training taught her well for fighting in the women's room at Titan Tower. Why did all the girls stand there to catch Asuka on the start of it when she dove off they were all standing there looking at her for 10 minutes, and then she jumps and they catch her? I'd just walk away.
That's the Miss Piggy bump from the Muppet movie.
And then she gets in the elevator, and all the girls go, "Oh shit, we got to run up the stairs." No, they don't. There's 3 elevators. I've been there. There's 3 elevators side by side. Could have just got the next elevator. But you know what? Since that elevator moves so slowly, and since there's only 4 fucking floors to this building to begin with, the stairs would have been quicker. Here's a question. Why did everyone get off the elevator and or exit the stairway at every single fucking floor? If you know you're supposed to go to the roof, why don't you just go to the fucking roof? That building has a 4-story parking garage underneath it, and then 4 floors, 4 levels of offices, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the roof. You can go top to bottom in the elevator or on the stairs in under a minute. I did write that this is not worth making notes about at the start, but then I made some because I just, not any critique of any work in this, because fuck. They played music underneath the alleged fighting. When Possum, one of these days he's got to get fired so he can go to AEW so they can make a tag team of Possum and Pockets. When Possum threw the weight in the gym and broke the mirror, did you hear the dramatic music? And he stood there and looked at it. Oh my God, what have I done? You idiot. You fucking buffoon. The WWE has told you people that you have to do this, that you have to have this fight, that you have to start down in the fucking gym and end up on the roof. They know you're going to break shit. Otis put a barbell on AJ Styles, and he acted like he couldn't get out from under it, so he even beats fucking Balding Buck on that goddamn hokey injury angle he did a while back, so he could go home.
Yeah, that was really bad. It was clear that AJ could have rolled that thing right off him at any point.
Well, of course. And then, as we mentioned before, Rey Mysterio ran into Brother Love in the shitter. Poor Bruce, if he's going to do that, he needs to fucking dye the hair back, because now that he's gray, it just doesn't look right. He looks more like fucking Pat Robertson. The music changes on every cameo. They had Brother Love's music, then they had Doink's music. Then Plastic Face is somewhere on the second floor, I believe. And by the way, you couldn't really tell what was what. I know they have painted and carpeted since I've been there, but they were just in various places in the building, but they weren't taking a linear path to the roof. They were just fighting in various places in the building. So I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but in some conference room, Plastic Face got a fake briefcase, and then Stephanie appears to tell her, hey, stupid, the real one's on the roof. I don't know who's faker, the guys or the girls. So then AJ Styles is looking for Rey Mysterio, but he sees the Undertaker poster on the wall, and he gets scared enough of the Undertaker poster that he stands there and looks at it for 15 seconds while he's supposed to be in this fucking mad world race to the fucking Big W to find the money that Jimmy Durante buried under the fucking palm tree. Feel like Stanley Kramer produced this goddamn pay-per-view. He stares at the fucking Taker poster for 15 seconds and then sees a room with blue light and a coffin, so he has a boneyard flashback. And AJ Styles never used to take drugs, but now the LSD is coming back on him. And then Aleister Black beats him up. And then Paul Heyman's at a buffet. And he's got terrible manners. And suddenly the guys and the girls run in.
What do you mean he has terrible manners?
Well, he picked something out of one plate and decided he didn't like it and put it back in. But then he saw the fucking, and they didn't even have like something he'd really go bonkers over, like a big Philly cheesesteak. It was like a fucking catering sandwich. It just looked like a big bread roll. And he really likes that. He's looking at it real nice. And then here come the guys and the girls both come in from opposite sides. Otis, have I mentioned that I despise Otis and his mumbling and his goofy bullshit and the whole cartoon nature of his fiasco?
You have not.
Well, I do. But at this point, Otis throws the food on Heyman, which he just stands there with a look on his face and takes. He didn't do anything to run off or to pitch a fit or to whatever. He just stood there. And then I thought somehow he's going to take a bump. If I had been there and been forced to be involved in that, although that would have been a stretch, I would have at least taken a bump or something. But anyway, he gets food thrown on him. They have a big food fight. And one of the girls gets powerbombed through a table while they play marching music in the background. Then Otis goes to the cafeteria. I can't remember the guy's name who used to cook there, but he made great double cheeseburgers. And he loved me coming in because I was the only one that would get a double cheeseburger with extra cheese. Or I'd say, if give me the chicken fingers, I want extra ranch. All these other fucking twits that used to eat there were coming in getting fucking sandwiches and salads and granola bars. So he didn't ever have any fun cooking for anybody till I showed up. But anyway, he goes in the cafeteria, being mumbling and goofy, as I mentioned. Why is John Laurinaitis in a fucking hover-round? Why did John Laurinaitis pull up to him in a fucking motorized scooter that looks like he's a fucking 400-pound old woman at Walmart?
If that was an inside joke, I didn't get it. I have no idea.
Has he recently had because he took a bump off the fucking horrible bump off the scooter but he took a bump off the scooter, so he can't have just had like leg surgery or something. But anyway, he hit John Laurinaitis in the face with a pie. Then Asuka came through. There was a custodian mopping the floor, and Asuka spazzed out at him. That's what I wrote. There's only 4 floors in this fucking building. Where are they all going? Daniel Bryan gets hold of somebody, and he's actually trying to make shit look good in the middle of this. He's way too dedicated. Then, it was him and Aleister Black. I think he was kicking the shit out of her or something. But then somehow him and AJ show up in Vince's office. And they play Vince's music. And they bust into the office fighting. I didn't see Beth. I don't know where Beth Zaza was. Because she doesn't let anybody in Vince's office, whether they're fighting or not. But he's sitting at his computer in the back of the fucking office. They fight for a while, and then he turns around, and then they see him. If somebody burst into my dead quiet office having a big brawl, it wouldn't take me but I would say 1.2 seconds to turn around and say, what the fuck are you doing? But anyway, we mentioned Vince looks 100. And I was like, wow, he couldn't even say, get out. He just get out. And did he stand up straight from the desk? I don't know that he stood up straight there.
I'm not sure. He looked better there than he did on the Triple H 25th anniversary spectacular.
I don't know. But anyway, he looks old. But anyway, so he kicks him out of the office after they straighten his chairs up. They go back outside. They start casually talking about, you were scared. No, you were scared. And then they start fighting again. So now the only 2 talents in this fucking whole fiasco that's worth a shit, and they pretty much just buried them as being stupid, fake, phony. Oh, I wrote this. My next note is capital punishment legal in Connecticut. That was just something I thought I would research to see if we could somehow penalize whoever thought of this shit. So, by the way, Vince's office is 30 feet and 1 flight of stairs from the roof garden. But the women got there first, even though AJ and fucking Daniel Bryan were approximately 44 feet away. So Nia Jax picks up one of those girls and pressed her over her head, but lost her and fucking dropped her and then tried to throw her out of the ring, but the girl wasn't ready. She just it looked like she was tossing a mark out in Tulsa. And I wrote all these people taking all these chances of getting hurt bad for this fucking shit that will be laughed at for years to come and remembered as the worst thing ever in wrestling until next week, probably. I've pontificated that I don't know whether I hate the music worse or Asuka's incessant screeching. And now, by the way, now that when they got in the ring, having no announcers sounded especially stupid. And then I started to fucking fast forward because I was going to skip the rest of the girl shit, but the Possum King showed up. So I thought I'd watch this, and he climbs a ladder, and Asuka knocks him off. Asuka beat the Possum King to win the women's Money in the Bank match. She knocked him off the ladder and got the fucking case. So if anybody could be buried any deeper, Possum King right now is looking up at the treasure at the bottom of the money pit. Because a woman just beat him for the woman's Money in the Bank briefcase. Then the announcers come in and celebrate Asuka's win of a, quote, world title opportunity. Because Vince doesn't like the word shot. Although somebody should be shot for this. Then Otis showed up and couldn't figure out how to climb the ladder. I believed this. The first time all night, I believed in anything that Otis or any of the rest of these idiots did. Was when he couldn't figure out how to climb a ladder. And then it was a nice touch when he tried to broke the steps, except the problem is that everybody knows those goddamn aluminum ladders, the steps don't break even if you're 350 fucking pounds, so that was phony too. Then I wrote, I hate Otis again, exclamation point, just to make sure that everybody knew. Then the Possum King threw Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black off the roof. We've said somebody was going to take a bump off the roof. I guess are they dead now?
I don't know. AJ Styles returned from being buried just recently.
Well, but that was in a movie. This was a match. This was a match for a WWE title opportunity. So if they get thrown off the roof and die, they may really be dead.
Is there a window cleaner at Titan Towers? Is there a potential that one of them landed on that?
A window, one of them landed on him, possibly. Yeah, you know what? You know what? They ought to open fucking Raw, or they should have opened. They ought to open Raw tonight with a fucking last night graphic and a fucking zoom from a shot of the street with there's goddamn fucking AJ and Daniel Bryan both, or not AJ and Daniel Bryan, but Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black both hanging off a goddamn window washer's fucking scaffolding. But one of them's it's around their neck and the other one their foot's tied in it. Help, get us down. See, if you're going to do shit, then do shit. Because this stuff was supposed to be funny and it wasn't. And it was supposed to be wrestling and it wasn't. And it was supposed to be entertaining and it wasn't. So at least do something. But anyway, as I mentioned, I felt bad for AJ and Daniel Bryan having to lower themselves to be involved in this. This is the kind of thing in the old days when there was someplace else to go, that guys would have heard this and say, yeah, okay, I'm just going to go to the car and get my bag. I'll see you later. And you would never see him again. And then finally, AJ and Possum got the case. But Elias from nowhere, who wasn't in this match but was hiding apparently in Titan Tower all this time for just such this opportunity, jumped in the ring and hit Possum with the guitar. But AJ fumbled the case, and guess who caught it? Why, you don't have to guess because you were there.
I saw it. I was waiting. I didn't know if you wanted me to actually jump in, but your favorite wrestler in this match got it.
Otis. Otis is the wouldn't you know who won the pony. Otis. My boy Otis won the pony. So now Otis has a world title opportunity at an important WWE championship. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if I can tear this many pages at the same time.
No, don't rip it. No!
Fuck these fucking people. This is what's going to, the pandemic isn't going to kill, the thing it's going to kill is wrestling. It ain't going to kill 50 million people around the world. It's just going to finish off wrestling because they've been looking for excuses to do this fucking shit for a long time now. And they got guys that are veterans. Some of them are just with a ridiculous need to be on television, or some of them just can't handle their money and just have to have a check and just are whores for a paycheck, have no principles and no standards. And you got guys that don't know any better because they've been fucking taught that this kind of shit is okay because they're all entertainers. They're not wrestlers, and they're actors and television performers. And you have just enough fucking people that are scared to not be with the times and to be left behind because they don't learn and evolve. Just enough of those small-minded, gutless, wimpy individuals to sanction this kind of shit because they're afraid the cool kids won't like them, that people think that this is okay now and that this is what wrestling should be, or that whatever they're doing over on TNT is what wrestling is supposed to be, and there's no problem with this, and this is not insulting or offensive or stupid. This is what we get. This is what we get. And by the time that there's fans allowed back in the arenas, after they've seen shit like this, we won't really be able to tell. There'll be people there. There'll be people there going to look at stupid people doing stupid shit. There won't be any wrestling fans in the building anymore because there won't be more wrestling. There barely is now anyway. There are a bunch of these fucking goofs that watch Tosh.0 or Jackass or stupid videos and think that wrestling is supposed to be a bunch of stupid people doing stupid shit that you're not supposed to take seriously. So the pandemic will do what all these other assholes, the wrestling artists and the doll wrestlers and the dick boys and the fucking invisible men and the fucking Hollywood producers of the WWE and all the rest of them that want to be anything other than what they are supposed to be, which is wrestling and wrestlers. They've started it. The pandemic's going to finish it. And by the time that this whole thing is over, they'll say, well, we can just do all this. It's more fun. And wrestling is done officially. Here, I need something else to fucking tear.
Were you happy that the Elias Baron Corbin feud apparently has continued since WrestleMania?
Oh, I don't know what I could have done without fucking knowledge that they're going to continue their epic rivalry, to only outshone by Bobo Brazil and the Sheik in terms of longevity and violence and hatred. Elias and Possum.
All right. That was Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Now, after Money in the Bank, there was a documentary about The Undertaker. And
I'm looking forward. Not on the channel I watched, but I'm going to be watching that on the WWE Network, and we're going to talk about that on The Experience, because I've heard it's quite good, and I love me some Undertaker. But no, I got the pay-per-view, so I could watch this on real television. Because as you recall, the only place that I cannot get the WWE Network is in my TV room on my TV, because it's supposedly too old. Fucking 9 years old. Goddamn, I've had underwear longer than that. But anyway, so I didn't see The Undertaker. I will watch that by The Experience. But no, as soon as this thing was over with, and not a moment too soon, it said, thank you for getting this pay-per-view event, and I deleted it immediately.